Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a good look at the new Baby Rocket ship. Now this is set number 76254 and it is taken off the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 film, which is yet to come out in the UK. So as normal, what we'll do, we'll go through the box artwork, the instruction manual, have a look at the set itself, and then we'll do a load of comparing at the end of the video. But you can see from the front of this box artwork, it is the LEGO Marvel 8 Plus set, and in the bottom right hand corner you've got Rocket and Baby Rocket as well. If you want to collect the full team, which is all of these people in the top right hand corner, you will need to get all three sets. If the box is on the shelf side on, you have just got the LEGO Marvel and the actual SKU code on that bit, and again Lego number, and then I think that is a new Guardians of the Galaxy badge on the back of this box. It doesn't give too much away with regards to what this is actually supposed to do with. Some of the other sets obviously do give you bits and pieces that you can do within the film, whereas this is not giving any spoilers away whatsoever. And then again on the side you've just got the normal Lego Marvel bit, and then you've got a 1-for-1 with Rocket. Now this has already been built. I have just done this intro once and the file got corrupted. With regards to the booklet, it's lovely, plain and simple. You've got the QR code in the bottom right hand corner for the digital download for the instructions. As we go through, there is only 3 bags. So bag number 1 you get the baby, bag number 2 you get Rocket, and then bag number 3 is just the rest of the bits and pieces and no minifigure included. And you can see that there is not that many pages, but it is quite an enjoyable build. It is 73 pages in total, and you will finish on step, I do believe, 138, page 69, and then it just gives you the other little bits and pieces you can do with regards to how you load up your weapons and shoot. And again, you can get both minifigures on the inside. So this is what the thing looks like built. I think it's very impressive looking, to be honest. There's quite a lot of bits and pieces going on with it. So we get that out of the way and we'll take a good look at this thing first. Now you can have this in a couple of different modes. First thing first, these pieces move. I don't know why they go out to the side just yet, but because the film has yet to be released in the UK, I can't give you any more information than that. But it does have that feature, and it has got the guns and everything up at the top. But like I said at the start, I will not be loading them or firing them up because I've got the cats. Now on the back you have got the rotation of both of the engines. You can hear that they are very, very stiff and very, very sturdy. So you can basically angle and manipulate how you want them. Also, the other thing that you can do is this. So you can twist both of them down so it lands on the back just like so. And then you can do the same thing on the front on both sides, and that is what that looks like sat down. So you can actually basically have it parked if you want to, and then you can manipulate how it is you want to do. So I'm not too sure if you're supposed to be able to open up to then load the characters in. Now with regards to the top just opens up simple enough. This is a really nice trans green piece. That's from the old Space Police sets from way back when. Now you have got on the inside, you've got 2 computer screens, and you have got room to fit both of the characters. Now obviously you can't bend Little Rocket's legs, but I don't know if you can get him in there with his weapon. I don't think you... Oh, you can. So he can hold his weapon if he wants to, tight, and then obviously Little will just sit on the back. That would be a very good place to keep the little baby Rocket, only because it's such a small piece. You can imagine that getting lost quite easily. Now if we get both of them in there, so if I do take his weapons off, and if I get him in, how easy is it to get him in there? There we go. So even with his tail on, you can see that there is enough room on the inside of this, and this is very, very sturdy. I mean, even with those things out to the side, because of the joints that they're on, it takes a bit just to push them in on both sides. But again, lots going on with regards to what you can do with it, but without seeing it in the film, I don't know how important it is, and I don't know how accurate it is either. So there will be a full comparison once the film gets released of all of these little bits and pieces. I'm not too sure how I would have it. I don't know if I'd have it flying around or if I would end up having it parked up like that. But I think as a set, I think it's nice. If you want to get the baby Rocket and you realise how important that figure is, obviously you would imagine that soon enough that will actually go up in price on Bricklick and things like that. But when this set goes into a sale, you do get quite a lot for your money. So that's something to consider. Maybe don't have to rush out and get this. But then at the same time, if these is the only time that you're going to get these two, depending on how important these are within the film, then obviously you might end up wanting to pick these up at some point. But when the set does go into the sale, because it is in the UK toy shops, not just in the Lego shops, you know that this will drop down in price, or get it on double VIP or whatnot like that. Now this, if you saw the last couple of videos with regards to the Guardians of the Galaxy sets, they have all got the exact same outfits on, so they're all in their comic accurate suits. This one I've put the tail on the way up rather than on the way down in this one, because he can't stand up very well with the tail down on the ground. The tail's actually a little bit too long for his legs. But again, he's got just the one big head mold on the front. It's got a nice little smiley face, and you can just see what is going on with that. And the head on this one does turn and rotate absolutely fine, so you have got that ability to do it. Now the little baby one, he's obviously a teeny tiny thing, so if I put him to the edge of the table, you might be able to see it a little bit better because it is tiny. So you've got to be careful. It's a bit like one of the droids that come with the Star Wars ships. You just got to be careful that you don't lose it. But this, I can imagine being a relatively strong price piece. But again, both those side by side, I think they look really, really effective. So I've grabbed a couple of sets to compare. We've got the Indiana Jones plane and the car again to start with. This, I think, is just a good thing to compare all of the smaller and bigger ones too. So at least I've done it the same for every single one, just so you can see the size. Lengthwise, they are almost exactly the same length with regards to studs, because you have got the fin that comes out on the side, and then you've got the plane with the length. So it is not too far off. I would imagine they are almost exactly the same to the stud on both. Now, obviously, depending on how you display it with regards to these being split open, this plane is obviously going to be wider on the wingspan compared to the rocket ship, but they both do look quite good side by side, I think. And again, just as a comparison to what one of the little vehicles look like with regards to the Indiana Jones set, I think again it scales nicely. So depending on where you're going to put this in your display, or how much space you think you need, I think you can get away with it quite nice. And then don't forget, you can, if you want to, angle these on the back and just push them down and just have them sort of flying away at sort of whatever angle you want before you twist them round. So you can twist them around at almost any angle, apart from the very, in fact, you can angle them all the way from the top and it will just sit directly down. Or if you had it all the way angled, you can still twist it in, but it obviously will hit the table and it will get stuck. So there's a lot of movability with regards to this one and what it can do. But that's what it looks like with the car. That's what it looks like with the plane. And I'll grab a bigger ship. So moving on to what potentially, remember, the film is still not out in the UK, what its bigger brother might be within the film. You've got Adam Warlock, which is the new character to Marvel franchise, stood at the top. With this one, I've kept all of the minifigures in there, so you've only got space for 3 figures on the back, and then you have got the invisible one, the Big Dave. He's hiding in the bottom just there, so I guess he's supposed to jump out or do what he needs to do, and there is a little control panel. But even with all of these little bits and pieces that are going on within this ship, there is no room for these two, so it will be very, very interesting to see which way the film does go. Now, like I said, there will be a full comparison with all of the Guardian ships, the sets and everything else like that once the film has come out, so we can see how accurate they are and just how they scale with all the other ships. But if you wanted to, for a display thing, you can get this with like a clear stand if you wanted to, and there is room through the ring to stand it on the floor, so it would stand within. So the length of the yellow baby rocket ship is there or thereabouts the exact width of the new Guardian ship. So I think those two do scale very, very well together if you wanted to make it as a big display piece. So you can have it whichever way you want to do it. And again, if I try to do it with my other hand just so you can see it a little bit easier, that is just the size and the scale. And again, it would just sit just underneath the engine if you wanted it to, and then just put something in it to the bottom and it will just stand through on the ring. But again, lengthwise from the front to the back, you're only a couple of studs off on both ways, but obviously this is just more of like a big grip on the back with a huge space for the engine. So last thing we'll compare it to is the big old Guardian ship. Now this thing would sit nicely just underneath the wing, and if you raised it up high enough and you still wanted bits and pieces underneath, you're not going to lose out on any of this shelf space. Or if you wanted to and you were tight on shelf space, if you were to get some bits and pieces off the top there and then get some clear bits on that bit, you could have those two flying over the top of each other if need be. And that is it, we are done. So if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If you can let us know in the comments below just how important these characters are and how important this ship is once the film comes out. And like I said, for the third and final time, there will be a full comparison of all the ships coming once the film comes out. But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.